Welcome back to the Dashcam Dasher, guys. So there is a good news for the Ninja 300 fans. The new BS6 Ninja 300 will be soon launched in the Indian market. So with that, here I would like to share my ownership experience with my Ninja 300. So this motorcycle came into my life 7 years ago, and then the world has become so big for me. It's a happy union that happened in the May month of 2014, and still we are going strong. So let's have a formal introduction. So this is a 2014 Kawasaki Ninja 300. This is a non-ABS model, and I have done 70,000+ kilometers with this motorcycle. To be exact, it is 71,177 kilometers. So a lot of memories and moments to cherish in all these 7 years. It all started with my dad's Splendor in 1998, and then a Hero Honda Passion in 2001. Fast forward to 2010, I had my first bike, the TVS Apache RTR 180. Soon the Apache started to grow old, and the need for a bigger and a better bike started. So initially I was looking for the Honda CBR 600RR, and then I came to know that 600cc's were not available in India at that time, and importing one would cost almost as much as a little class bike, and I couldn't afford that much money during that time. So getting a super sport bike was out of the question at that time, and then I decided to settle for something lesser and upgrade myself to a super sport later on. So at that time I came to know that the Ninja 300 has been launched in India. With 39 brake horsepower at the crank and 27 Newton meters of torque, this is one beast of a motorcycle in its segment, or should I say the only bike in this segment at that time. The Duke 390 was recently launched at that time, and since KTM was new to India, I was skeptical about going with the Duke. Also, I considered buying the Ninja 650, but the looks of the 300 made me go with the 300 rather than the 650. So I booked this bike in January 2014 and got it almost after 5 months. And I couldn't forget the moment when I put my legs over the saddle of this bike for the first time. It was an unforgettable day in my life, and I was all smiles. Now I will take you through my journey with this bike for the past 7 years. My initial impression with this motorcycle is completely different from what it is today. The first few kilometers of my ride, while I took delivery from the showroom, really gave me goosebumps. I haven't ridden a fully fed motorcycle so far in my life, and I had difficulty in guessing where my front wheel is going and how much I had turned the bike, like that sort of things. So over the course of time, I really understood the motorcycle well and started to adapt with it. Here, I will share a few things which I really loved with the bike and which I did it. So the first thing which I really love with this motorcycle is its butter smooth engine. You start it, you don't feel any unwanted vibration from the motorcycle. You redline it at 13,000 RPM and it is still the same. That is how smooth this motorcycle is. I have ridden it extensively on the highways with an average speed of around 120 km/h. And I have ridden it at a maximum speed of 191 km/h. And there is not even the slightest complaint of vibration from the handlebars or the footpegs. And I have also taken this motorcycle to places where you cannot differentiate between roads and mud tracks, and still today there is no complaint of any rattling of fairing or any such sort of thing. The next thing which I really love about this motorcycle is the linear power delivery. The 39 brake horsepower comes all over the RPM range, and there is no abrupt power delivery at the high RPM or lack of power in the lower RPM. You can even ride it at 40 km/h in the 6th gear without knocking the engine. At low RPMs, this just feels like a normal bike, and the engine comes to life only after the 7000 RPM. So once past the 7000 RPM, the bike really becomes mad and fully unleashes itself and lets you know what it is capable of. the looks of the motorcycle. So this is what made me go with the 300 rather than the Ninja 650. So this is one good looking bike and there cannot be any second thoughts about it. So what I would say is this is one of the best, if not the best looking motorcycles in India. The 10-spoke alloy wheels and the twin headlights further add to the look of this motorcycle. So now I will share with you how well was my ownership, the cost of the ownership and the issues I have faced with this motorcycle. So this is India and a motorcycle review is not complete without letting you know about the figures of mileage. So I get an average mileage of around 30 km per liter while riding it in the highway at around 120 km per hour. So most of my rides apart from commuting are for tours and trips. So there is very few city rides. So what I feel is the mileage which I get is reasonable. Next thing which I would like to share with you is the service network. The service network in India is really pathetic. After Kawasaki severed its tie-up with Bajaj, we are left with only the exclusive Kawasaki showrooms which are available only in the major cities and the metros. It is really difficult for someone like me to take my motorcycle to an authorized service center and get it serviced. Luckily for me, I have a friend of mine who services letter class bikes and I service my motorcycle there. Even for that, I have to travel around 240 kilometers up and down for each service. So coming from a service point of view, so how much each service cost for this motorcycle? For me, it costs around 5,000 to 7,000 rupees for each service in my friend's place, which will surely go upwards if you are to service your motorcycle at the authorized service centers. The recommended service interval is 10,000 kilometers or 1 year, whichever is earlier, but I service my bike for every 6,000 kilometers. Also, since I am using K&N air filter, I just clean it and refit it each and every time. So now let me share with you what are the major parts that need to be replaced in particular intervals of time. So for prospective Ninja 300 buyers, please watch this before proceeding. A major part which needs replacement over the course of time is your chain and sprocket set. My first chain and sprocket set lasted for around 30,000 kilometers and then it started to give a ticking noise, which indicates that it is time for a change. I managed to run for about 38,000 kilometers with my OEM chain and sprocket, then I replaced it. The OEM chain and sprocket costs around 17,000 rupees, but I went on with a roll-on chain and sprocket which cost around only rupees 12,000. The roll-on lasted for around 30,000 kilometers and after which I have changed it once again for a roll-on chain and sprocket, which I am running now. The next thing which I would like to share with you is the tires. This motorcycle came with IRC Road Winner tires, which is very pathetic when it comes to grip and life. The tire takes a very long time to heat and hence it has very poor grip and it lasted just around 16,000 kilometers for me. Then I went on with Michelin Pilot Street Radials, which has really excellent grip and good life. My first set of Michelin Pilot Street Radials lasted for around 30,000 kilometers. So if you are into commuting and touring regularly, this is the tires you need. Of course, if you are going to do track days, you have the Pirellis. The next thing which I would like to share with you is about the brake pads. So if you decide to put a lot of miles on this motorcycle, be ready to change the brake pads then and there. So right now I am using EBC double gauge sintered brake pads, which is much better than the OEM pads. These brake pads cost around rupees 5,000 and are cheaper than the OEM pads, and they have a very long life and good bite force than the OEM pads. But one downside is they will affect the life of your discs. Also, I have replaced the neck bearing set twice during my ownership. You can feel the need to replace this once you feel the tightness in the steering gone, and also you can hear metal clicking noises while running over potholes. I don't remember exactly the cost of replacement, but I can assure you that this is not a costly affair. One more thing which needs replacement once you put a lot of miles in your motorcycle is your engine valve shim kit. I have heard from a lot of Ninja 300 owners who have put considerable amount of miles on their odometer that they are facing this issue. So once these things wear out, we get a tappet noise from the motorcycle, which I am facing right now, and I intend to change these shim kits during my next service. One more thing which I need to replace is my rear suspension. I don't know whether my fellow Ninja 300 owners are facing this issue, but my rear suspension is done and dusted. The OEM suspension costs around rupees 25,000 and the aftermarket ones are starting from rupees 14,000 and they are up to around 35,000 rupees. So this is a costly one. which need to be replaced if you are decided to put a lot of miles on your motorcycle. So these are the major parts which I have replaced in my course of ownership. So apart from this, the DRL headlight bulb will have to be replaced around every 24,000 kilometers. It costs around rupees 1,500 to 2,000 rupees. Also, I have replaced my throttle cable and my clutch cable a couple of times. Also, the throttle grip will also have to be replaced then and there. With that being said, I think I have shared almost all the expenses involved in having a Ninja 300. With that, I would also like to add that this is one good reliable motorcycle. I have ridden it in almost various terrains in different climatic conditions, and this bike has never let me down. I have ridden this motorcycle for 940 kilometers in a single day for over 16 hours. I have also ridden this motorcycle in heavy downpour for more than 4 hours. I have also ridden this motorcycle in scorching sun, and it has never let me down. In the 70,000 kilometers of my ownership, I was never left stranded in an unknown location with a broken bike. That is how reliable this motorcycle is. So before finishing, I would like to add one more thing which I hate with the Ninja 300. Yes, there is one thing which I really do hate with this motorcycle. It is the ground clearance. With just 135 millimeters of ground clearance, which is 10 millimeter less than even the mighty ZX-10R, this almost scrapes all the speed breakers in India. I have already made an exclusive video regarding the ground clearance of the Ninja 300. So one thing which I feel Kawasaki could have done better with this motorcycle is its ground clearance. If you closely look at the competitors of the Ninja 300, the KTM RC390 offers a ground clearance of 178 mm, while the Yamaha R3 offers a ground clearance of 160 mm, while the TVS Apache RR310 offers a ground clearance of 180 mm. So this is one area where I think Kawasaki could have done better, keeping in mind the owners in India. I think I have shared as much as I could about my ownership experience and the cost involved in owning this beauty. Of course, the happiness which you get when you put your legs over the saddle cannot be measured monetarily or expressed in words. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Please share your thoughts in the comment section. For more videos, please press the subscribe button and click on the bell icon.